So this is just problems 4 and 5 from the pre-quiz. And so for number 4, you got a Suvati, yes? And the initial velocity is negative 5.2. I don't know if you figured that out. Final velocity is 0. Time is 1.17 seconds, right? If you do this mathematically, you get a positive acceleration, don't you? Now let's suppose you didn't get a positive acceleration. I'm hoping that you would look at that and know that's wrong because it stopped moving down, right? Okay, so there we go, right? Okay, so if it stops moving down, it has to accelerate up, correct? Yes, so anyway, we end up with a positive 4.4. We're not done, right? We still have to do the chapter 4 question here, which is set all the forces acting on the object equal to ma, right? So one of the forces is the force of gravity. The force you're trying to calculate is the other force, and there aren't any more acting up and down, right? So you say unknown force minus a known downward force, right, is equal to m times a, right? So there's all these places where we got to get it right. We can't forget gravity. We can't get the wrong sign on this, right? And to be sure, on the skill set, it's going to be just like, I'm not going to tell you this, or I'm not going to tell you this, or something like that, right? And then, some of them you actually calculate the distance in which it stopped, or something like that. So there's always a Suvat part of it, and there's always a force minus weight is m times a. Yeah? Kind of a thing? Yeah?
So instead of Suvating for acceleration, we did acceleration equals velocity divided by time?
Sure. Yeah, it's essentially the change in velocity is positive 5.2. Right? You just got to be careful because I'm not going to put minus signs on it, on the skill sets. You're going to have to get it right, whether it's up or down. Yeah. And then number 5 is it's accelerating. It's 63 kilograms. It's accelerating 2.16 meters per second squared down the plane. And the plane is frictionless, yes? Right? So what force would make it do that? There's a perpendicular force. That's not a player. The parallel force is a player, so you got to figure that one out. And that's 354.49 newtons down the plane. And then when you set up your F equals ma equation, the unknown force again is you always make those positive. Parallel force is always negative, always down the plane, right? And then the acceleration you have to make negative because it's down the plane, yeah? And it'll be, it'll be up the plane, down the plane. Yeah, kind of a thing. Right? So in these expressions, it's always the case that the parallel force will always be there and it'll always be down the plane. Kind of a thing. Yeah? And if you missed last class, we spent a day working on these little inclined plane problems. You still have an opportunity, though, to be bored on your own time.